What's going on, guys? My name is Ryan, aka Zella, and I love reading and reviewing indie comic books. And it is my personal goal to make sure that you find and fall in love with your new favorite original character and the teams behind them. So this week, I have another entry from Echelon Graphic Novels, and I'm super duper excited because we're going to get a little steampunky, a little mad scientist-y, a little showmanship. There's a lot that's going on in this comic, and it's a whole lot of fun. I cannot wait to tell you guys about Blackmoore. All right, so let's just jump into it because there's a lot that happens in this comic. It really does start off with a bang, and I mean that figuratively and literally. So this is the titular Dr. Viktoria Blackmoore here on the cover. Again, like I said, this is from Echelon Graphic Novels, but here's the page that I always tell us that we're going to stop on. I want you guys to take a look at these names and make sure that you are following these people, okay? So Veronica Smith and Ethan Murphy are the creators of this series, and it's a lot of fun. If you enjoy like steampunk kind of stuff, but also that sort of the wackiness of like the mad scientist kind of reminds me of like Flubber or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids almost. This goofy, like endearing kind of mistake making all the time. Like you're trying to solve world hunger, but you really mess it up. So that's kind of the story that we are starting off with. So we start off in Charmington University in England, mid 19th century, and this teacher is, you know, he's teaching his science class. He's trying, but something starts to just go off, this horrible sound, and then it is just mayhem, chaos. Like I said, this comic starts with a bang, because literally everything is just falling apart, just losing. This kid thinks it's the apocalypse. They don't know what's going on, and then somebody kicks in the door, right? Somebody kicks in the door, throws a thing, and it basically just stops everything and turns everything into like this little tiny like chunk of metal that was all like pushed together with all of the stuff that was floating around the room. So all of the students leave because of course they did, and there she is, Viktoria Blackmoore. I mean Dr. Viktoria Blackmoore. I mean the Dr. Viktoria Blackmoore. This is her in all of her glory, and unfortunately this is her father's classroom, and he's, you know, red-faced tomato kind of pissed about it. And there's a little bit of a back and forth that happens because basically this guy that's coming in here is gonna replace her. She's like, I don't want to work with him, and he's like, don't worry, you won't. You're out on the street. He fired his own daughter, but she goes out, she's helping her little sister, and they're going to like this kind of bazaar. It's sort of a fair type thing, kind of a market in the square sort of thing downtown somewhere. So they're just sort of walking towards it. They're getting some popcorn, some cool stuff is going on, but they also grabbed a wheelchair because it turns out that her sister's an amputee. So that's the we'll come back to that in just a moment. But something happens because they hear a commotion over here. They see a bunch of people standing over there, and they hear this commotion, and they hear like kind of, behold the uber spectacular stupendousness, super I don't know, something like that, right? You know, the guys that are standing out there that are just basically selling snake oil. Well, here he is in all of his glory, Gideon the Great, and this is his gallery, and she is pissed about it because it's annoying. Like, I mean, this guy, he's definitely showboating, and we can tell that this guy is like, you know, he's shady, you know, he's got something going on, and she thinks so too. But she's really mad when she hears him say the word science. The moment that he calls what he's doing, see, the sensational science takes center stage. That's it, because one thing that you are not going to mess with Dr. Blackmoore about is her fact that she absolutely loves science to death. So she goes up there, she marches up to him, she gives him the mom finger, she's telling him a thing or two about himself. Let me tell you something about you that you don't know. That's what she's doing right now. And here's the thing. She figures out all of his gags in just like one panel. just one frame. She figures out how he did every single. So she's kind of one of those kind of geniuses. She's like that, where she understands, you know, she could basically kind of reverse engineer anything. But after the day's trip, they're getting going home, back to the Blackmoore, looks like estate at this point. And, you know, Dad is mad because she was supposed to be in the house earlier. But you know what? That's not going to stop our little mad scientist tinkerer. She's going to keep tinkering away, and then wha-boom! Now, something happens here. Something explodes here, and something goes on. And I'm not going to spoil it for you. You guys are going to have to figure out what happens. You're going to have to figure out what's going on with Gideon. Is he a friend? Is he a foe? Are they going to work well together? I do kind of like this idea that Gideon is very smart, but he's using like his intelligence to like sort of manipulate people, versus our main character that wants to use it for good to spread, you know, whatever, technological advancements. The idea of the wacky mad scientist. And this is a trope that I don't think I've seen with women very often, and that's something that I'm super proud of with this book. It's very fun that it's a woman that's this trope, you know, Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs, Flubber, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids 1, 2, and 3. It's all just men, you know, that are kind of wacky, out there a little bit and disheveled, and then they turn into, you know, somebody. I think the closest that we get is Poison Ivy and Batman Forever. I think that's the closest that we get to like a woman mad scientist. So I'm super excited about this character. And if you want to grab this character for yourself, head over to Echelon Graphic Novels and you will be able to pick up this book. I believe there's at least 2, maybe 3 issues out. I know that there's 2, but there's so much stuff, and I'm going to be covering, like I said before, I'm going to cover a bunch of stuff from Echelon, so stay tuned for some more videos and things like that. So what's my rating on this one? What do I give it? Obviously, it's the best book ever, but thanks for checking out the review, guys, and remember, like I always say, I only need 2 things from you. Go drink water, do something kind, and I'll see you next time. Peace.